Hey everybody, this is Peter. In this video segment, we're going to perform an SCTP scan with Nessus 4. So before we get into this, what is SCTP? It's a stream control transmission protocol, which is supported by most major operating systems, being Windows, Linux, whatever. It's a layer 4 protocol, guys. It's kind of like TCP and UDP, and a lot of people don't know that their operating systems do support it or actually run it by default. So basically what we want to do is show you guys how to scan for this protocol. Now, we're not just scanning for a protocol that you support and no one really uses. Actually, this year in 2009, SCTP was the cause of some denial of service attacks, which is obviously not a good thing, but more importantly, the denial of service attacks became remote code execution types attacks as well. So basically allowing an attacker remote access to your system and basically doing whatever it wants on your system. So what we want to do is basically show you how to scan for the specific protocol to ensure that you're not running it on the network if you don't need it. And if you are using it on the network, that you're not vulnerable to any of the actual exploits that are available for it. So let's go ahead now and create a new policy in Nessus 4, and we'll call it SCTP scan. Again, stream control transmission protocol. And we'll go to plugins, disable all the defaults here, and go ahead and enable the plugins that we actually need to get this going. So first thing, under miscellaneous, I want to enable the IP protocol scans plugin. The reason why we want to do that is because we want to find out if we're running the protocol in the first place. Okay, so that's the actual plugin that'll do that for us. Then we want to go into our denial of service plugins or filters, and we want to go down here and enable the specific denial of service plugins for SCTP, but specifically for the Linux operating system here. And you can see we've got a few, right? So we're going to enable the kernel net filter, and the chunk handling remote DOS, and the multiple remote DOS denial of service plugins. So we'll go ahead and enable those. Then we're going to go ahead and enable one more, which is actually sitting within, let me just scroll down here. Alright, there we go. So the malformed ICMP packets, which may cause a denial of service with SCTP. So we're going to go ahead, enable that. We're going to go into credentials. We are scanning a Linux system here, so we're going to choose SSH settings and put in our root username and password. And then one more thing we want to enable as well is on the advanced tab from the drop down, we want to choose global variables, and then we want to basically choose thorough test. So basically run this really slow. We want to make sure that we get a thorough test. So we'll save that. We'll highlight our new policy. Oh, one sec, just delete the other one that we had there and go ahead and scan now. Alright, so you'll see in just a second here our host will pop up, and we'll see if we're basically running SCTP on this specific system. Alright, so our host has now come live. Let's see what we find under here. Alright, so as you can see right away, under general TCP, the following protocols are actually running on this host: ICMP, IGMP, TCP, UDP, IPv6. Alright, so basically that's showing us the protocols that we're actually running on this system. We're not going to run through the rest of this scan because, again, because this is a thorough test, it could take a really long time to run this scan. But again, if you want to scan for this specific protocol, this layer 4 protocol in your network, the plugins that we featured in this video need to be enabled to do this, not only to find the actual protocol, but to actually find the vulnerabilities that potentially exist on your system if you're running this specific protocol. Thanks very much for coming out, guys. We'll see you on the next one.